You are looking live at Richmond International Raceway in Virginia for round number 4 of the 2017 Apex Infotech Indy Elite Series here on RaceSpotTV, streaming live on Facebook Live. Will Vincent, along with Siska Scaramuza, with special comment from, once again, the in-heat RaceSpot cat. Cisco, great to have you back.
Yeah, great to be back. Happy to be back, Will, and welcome to Henrico County, Virginia, everyone. And gonna be a lot of fun here. It's actually my personal favorite oval track that's in existence right now. 0.75 miles, 150 laps. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
It is. This is a track that demands respect. There you can see the graphics up on your screen. Air temp at 74 degrees right now. Humidity 35%. 13 kilometer an hour winds. And well, you go to a track like Indy and 13 kilometer an hour winds will affect you on one end of the racetrack and maybe a little bit less on the other. But here, 13 kilometer an hour winds will play havoc, especially out of turn number 2. And turn number 2 here at Richmond arguably is one of the most difficult corners in the entirety of the Monster Energy Cup Series.
Yeah, it absolutely is, Will. I mean, this is such an odd track. The banking's very different from anywhere else we go to. I mean, you could equate it to something maybe like a New Hampshire banking or something like that, but honestly, it's all to its own here. It's a unique racetrack. We don't go anywhere else like this place in the Monster Energy Cup Series. It is kind of similar to Iowa in some sense here, but a little bit less banking than Iowa and a little bit closer together here at Richmond.
Yeah, and the big difference is, even though Iowa is only 0.125 of a mile longer, Iowa can pretty much be flat out in these cars. You can't say the same, really, for this track here, because you are lifting on both ends of the racetrack. In traffic, you might, and I say the word might, have to put a little bit of brake in once in a blue moon. And that's the thing. You know, Iowa is a bull ring through and through. This track is a thinking man's track. It's a strategic track. And those drivers that do well here today are those drivers who really know how to get the balance between setup, driver skill, and strategy all working together.
Yeah, absolutely, Will. And the other thing you have to keep in mind here is these cars, they're open wheel cars. These aren't fender. They don't have any fenders. They're very fragile. Richmond's usually a rough track on equipment here, whether it's making a little side contact with the car next to you or something like that. These guys don't have that luxury like what you would see in NASCAR. These guys don't have fenders that they can bump into. They can't move each other out of the way. You do that in one of these cars, you're going either in the wall or you're going over.
Brandon Trost is out on track right now. Currently P number 11, wanting a little bit more as he heads himself through turn 3 and 4. 172 miles an hour at the stripe. 11th is all he's going to get here today, and that is not the Brandon Trost we're used to seeing at this racetrack. He said to us that this is one track that he was looking forward to. And as we have a look at our championship standings here, well, this is a track that he would have wanted to try and get one over Tim Holgate. Holgate leads the championship 135 points over Brandon Trost, 106 right now. Eston Espati is 3rd, Joe Branch in 4th, Adam Dock in 5th, and Tim Doyle in 6th. But you've got to circle Tim Doyle's name here, Cisco, because he not only is very good at this track, he will come up with all forms of strategy if we get a caution with 20 to go.
Yeah, it's absolutely the case, and at the end of the day, yes, Brandon Trost did actually get one over on Tim Holgate. Holgate qualified 13th, Trost qualified 11th, so there is that. I mean, Joe Branch is at the top of the qualifying order here. That's a great run for him. He needed a run like this to start getting points back on your top 2 leaders in the point standings here, so a great run for him. But this is not a track at all where you want to start in the middle or at the back of the pack because it's just so hard to pass here.
Christian Steele is 19th in points, but 2nd on the grid today. He's looking to make some big moves in your championship order. It's currently Bradley Walters in 3rd, Adam Dock in 4th, Andrew Kinsella in P number 5. But what this grid shows to me is that the wind has really affected some of these drivers. The big names we talk about, Tim Doyle, for example, in P number 7, Marco Brazil in P number 9, Niles Anders, historically very good at this track. Well, he's down at P number 10 right now. Trost in 12th place. He's fallen down a position now. Holgate in 14th position. And also a number of drivers haven't yet qualified. And they might come on track now. Vic Cordell, Paul Jennings, Richard Haskins, Austin Espartee, Christopher Demerit, all haven't qualified, although we know that Demerit sometimes likes starting these races at the rear, seeing what happens.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if Demerit does it here. It's not exactly the way I would tackle this track, but one thing I do want to point out, Will, Brandon Trost is still out there. I'm not sure if he's just trying to figure out a line or something like that, or getting in some extra practice, or he's just bored. But either way, I'm starting to think that maybe these guys that we were expecting to be at the top of the board, maybe this wind and a little bit of this package of the Indy cars they brought here, maybe it's throwing some of these guys off here tonight.
As we said before, it's the one track in this schedule that really, really tests drivers. Now, New Hampshire has its own challenge. It's a mile in length, and yes, you've got to lift off at both ends of the racetrack, and yes, the banking always comes into play. It's just 14 degrees of banking here, that's it, nothing to worry about. But that exit of turn number 2 catches drivers year in, year out. It is something that you have got to pay attention to. Just to let you know, no other drivers have headed themselves out onto the racetrack. They pretty much now have run out of time to do so. So we're going to head yourself to your starting grid in just one moment's time here on RaceSpotTV.
Watch Ernie, go, go, go. Car right, car right, car right, car right. Watch him, watch him, watch him, watch him. Damn it! Get ready. Dude, pull heads up in that. Jeez.
Right on the back wing. Can he make it happen?
Yes! Yes! Push like hell. We gotta stay in front of these guys.
Both drivers on the push to pass. Contact in the pit lane.
All right, 60. Let that eagle fly. What do I do? What happened? Push here. Push hard. Let's go get this guy. Car outside. Through behind you. Tell. Clear outside. Good job. Just spun behind you. I don't know if you got him or not.
He got out of it so hard. Look at these guys are all over the back.
Full throttle.
IndyCar. In and out lap. What's next?
Come and get the checkers, big boy. Oh, baby, that was good. He hit me. Inside, inside, outside, inside, outside.
2017 Verizon IndyCar Series. See what's next.
Well, welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, here on RaceSpotTV and on iRacing Live. We are ready to go to the grid here, Cisco. And one thing I will say, it is a crazy, crazy grid here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe Branch is going to get the pole here. He's going to start outside or inside of your front row. Christian Steele going to start on the outside. He's going to start second. Third is going to go to Bradley Walters. Adam Dock is going to be fourth. Fifth to Andrew Kinsella. Sixth is going to go to Stephen Pauly. Seventh to Tim Doyle. Eighth to Andreas Eek. Ninth is going to go to Marco Aurelio Brazil. And Niles Anders is going to round out your top 10.
Yeah, Anders does get a time in then in P number 10. He is one driver you really want to watch here today. Grid running along the bottom of your screen, 13 rows of drivers. Of course, one thing's a little bit different at this racetrack compared to other Cisco. We'll have 2 laps before we go to the green.
Yeah, this track under a mile here, so we are going to get 2 pace laps for these guys to sort themselves out. It's going to give that field a chance to bunch itself up, make sure everyone is where they want to be here when they come to the green flag. But some track info for you here, as we mentioned, 0.75 miles here. Not a whole lot of banking here, but still nonetheless 4 turns. We're located just outside Richmond, Virginia in Henrico County, and this is going to be a whole lot of fun here. Can't wait for the start.
Indeed so. Will Vincent, Cisco's Caramuta, and RaceSpot Cat here on the call for you. 150 laps is our race distance here today. if it were to go green, this race would finish very, very quickly. However, that's unlikely to be the case on a short track like this, as your field now begins to pull off onto the first of 2 pace laps here today then. There you can see your field now just moving itself forward. At the front of your field is Joe Branch in that Verizon machine, number 28. Having a look on board of him right now. One of our many on boards here today. Got ourselves an on board with Tim Doyle as well. They see him in the number 11 Foyt Wines machine. Got to keep an eye out on Niles Anders in that Foster's car. He always is strong at these short tracks. Tim Holgate, championship leader, number 15 on board of him in a Sabuto car, as well as the fact we've got ourselves an on board with the driver of Christian Steele as well, which we'll get to in maybe a few moments time. There we are, Christian Steele on board of him there outside of row number 1. So let's get ourselves ready for the start of this event then. 150 laps around Richmond. These guys have got to be really on it all race long if they want the chance of getting themselves a good finish. Every lap counts here at Richmond. Pace cars in, and we go green here, Cisco.
Green flag in the air here from Richmond, Virginia here. Down to turn 1 already. No time for these guys. On the inside is going to be Bradley Walters in that 56. He's going to slide up there, had to get out of it. Then side by side right behind him, Tim Doyle already jumping to the inside of the 14 of Kinsella. Kinsella going to apex the corner on the outside, down to the bottom side of the 56, and already the battle is on here for 4th.
Indeed it is, but out front, Joe Branch still leads the way right now as we're ready onto lap number 2 of this event. Branch leads the way. Steele in second, Doc in 3rd place, Kinsella. Tim Doyle now on the outside through turn number 2, and Tim Doyle is already showing how strong he can be in this one as you ride on board with Kinsella.
Yeah, Kinsella is still on that bottom side of the racetrack here. Tim Doyle going to see if he can drop in behind here. No, he's going to stay to the outside here. Now going to apex back, and Doyle trying to close in on the rear bumper, and he just can't seem to get past Kinsella right now. Kinsella through 3 and 4 again. He continues to lead, and he's kind of forming that draft behind him, but it's been broken away. Brazil way back of those guys, so it's really a little bit of a single file battle here so far through everyone.
Meanwhile, behind you got Niles Anders and Brandon Trost. These 2 drivers have been in the wars over the last year or so in this series. Anders loses out to Brandon Trost. Trost moving through the field early on here already. I'm into P number 8, moving now past 2 drivers.
Yeah, great job by that driver here. And Niles Anders got really close to the back bumper, the 22 of Pauly there. Anders had to get out of the throttle here, and side by side right behind him, Holgate down to the bottom side in that 06. Andreas Eich is up on the top side, and he's able to close that battle down on Tim Holgate. And Holgate under attack again. He can't seem to catch a break. That's Gardadello there on the inside. He's going to go side by side with Doyle, or Holgate rather, as they head back into turn 1. Holgate trying to make that outside work. Not going to happen though. They're still side by side back into 3. It looks like Holgate gonna fall back again. He just can't seem to catch a break right now, Paul.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So often at the start of these events, if you are in traffic, it can be so difficult to pass. And we talk about weight jackers, anti-roll bars so often in this series, but well, this is one arguably more than any other where it really shows up if you haven't got your car working with you the entire way. On board then with Holgate out of turn number 2, 10 laps already in the books, and well, we've been green the entire way, side by side. Andres Ikra and the number 10 car down past to start finish line into 1, and this might now be Holgate's opportunity. Indeed, he screams himself down to the inside, moves himself past that number 76 machine, and Bookbinder versus Espati at the same time.
Yeah, and up in front of those guys, Anders also going to go by that car up ahead of Stephen Pauly there. So Pauly going to lose out of position back to the battle that you mentioned before. Looks like those guys, for the moment, have had it sorted out here. So Espati, and actually they're going to go 3 wide. Oh, Tim Holgate looked to try and shoot the needle. Wasn't able to do it there, Will.
He wasn't, but he is going to be able to get past Pooley there. Now he moves himself into the 11th position. We go on board of him then. Championship leader Holgate, little bit tight out of corner number 3 and 4 there as they come down into 1. These laps, they literally tick off here. It's about 16 seconds to do a lap here as Holgate in 11th place continues where he is. Christian Steele, by the way, about half a second back from Joe Branch. He's been that since the start of this motor race. Is behind. The battle still is around the drivers outside of your top 10.
Yeah, these guys, everyone for the most part through your top 10 is single file here. You saw a change of position there. Paulie lost out to Espity in that 777, so Espiti's up to 12th now, and Bookbinder under attack. I thought it was Bookbinder. It was actually Flanagan there. Looked like Robert Gortz was going to try and get the pass done there. Not going to happen, though. That's the closest cars you can find right now. Everyone else, though, it's single file right now, Will.
It is. It's single file, and it's going okay right now. Lap number 17 of 150. We're going to have to step aside for one brief moment here on RaceSpotTV and on iRacing Live. We'll be back, however, in just a few moments.
The NASCAR Peak Info Series, powered by iRacing, is the premier NASCAR eSports series featuring the cars and tracks from the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. The 2016 campaign saw a return to the top of the mountain by Ray Alfalla as a 3-time NASCAR World Champion. The march to that championship was not easy, though, despite the fact that Ray Alfalla took home the most points in series history. It just also happened to be the tightest championship fight we had ever seen. These guys are set for the 2017 campaign, and as it has been for the 7 years prior, it is no longer going to be a straight shot to the championship. We are going to see the biggest change in this championship picture in series history, as for the first time ever, there will be a chase for the championship. We're going to go into the Homestead Miami Speedway at the end of the season with the 4 best oval sim racing drivers in the world absolutely tied in the championship. You just got to beat the other 3 guys out and you will become an official NASCAR champion. You're going to get yourself a NASCAR championship ring and, of course, $10,000. These are the iRacing eSport World Championships, the pinnacle of sim racing competition. You can catch it all season long, live coverage on iRacing.com/live.
Under caution for the first time here at Richmond. Cisco, what happened?
That was contact between the number 4, the 74 rather, of Paul Jennings. He got spit up way into the air. We'll take a look on the replay if we can. The 30 hit the yellow line there, lost the back end of the car. Paul Jennings had nowhere to go and got ramped, basically. The car behind him, I'm trying to see who that was. That was Niall McBride, basically sent Paul Jennings end over end into the infield there. Game over for the 74. He's done.
Yeah, there's a replay then on board with Paul Jennings. Do apologise to our friends over on Facebook Live. We have no idea what happened. There we can see, though, Niall McBride, Paul Jennings upside down and around. A bit of a horrific crash for him. That's going to be one trip into the infield care centre, but everyone's on pit road.
Everyone's on pit road right now, I'm assuming, and Jennings still caught in the catch fence. Everyone else still, though, coming down pit road, probably going to get fuel here and probably tires, unless someone wants to try something here and maybe short fuel or don't take fuel. You saw a couple cars stay out on the racetrack there. Dan Liench, I'm not sure. It looks to me as he's showing on the lead lap. I'm not positive though. But Michael Peters and Richard Haskins are already 1 lap down. Battle off pit road looks to be pretty calm for the most part. Everyone coming off here, I would assume 4 tires and gas.
Yep. Your top 3 remain as they were. Joe Branch, actually, Christian still in second. Adam Dock in third. They can see the remainder. The moves and shakers happen. Stephen Poley, very poor pit stop by him as the guys circulate back on track. So, first caution of the day. Joe Branch leads. Number 3 machine is ahead of your race leader. That means he will get himself back onto the lead lap, but it's always risky here because a pit stop under green is about 2.5 laps. So you've got to argue, Cisco, that he has to, Michael Peters now hope that he gets another caution in the next 5-10 laps maximum.
Yeah, he has to, or otherwise he's just going to get blown by the wayside here. And I mean, he was, I believe he was the last of the lead of the lap down cars that we saw behind the pace car here. So for him, it might have just been a shot in the dark, and he must have thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to gamble on this because it's Richmond. I'm just hoping that I can catch a caution here. Light's going to stay on the pace car for another lap here, but Peters in that Miller Lite machine, well, he's just got to hope at this point because he's not going to make a lap up on old tires trying to pass the leader. Yeah,
the good thing for the viewers here is that the cautions generally are pretty short, so no Fox commercial filling is going to really happen here this afternoon. But then seeing the number 3 Miller Lite machine of Michael Peters, your race leader is Joe Branch, and there is your top 8, bottom of your screen right now. Joe Branch, Christian Steele, Adam Dog, Bradley Walters, Andrew Kinsella, Brandon Trost, Marco Brazil, and Niles Anders. We went a good 25 laps there early on in this event green. The difficult part comes with a restart because of the fact that these guys are single file. Cisco, the guys at the back of the field, are going to be entering turn 3 as Joe Branch takes the green.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely the case, Will. And some of the guys who are going to be back in the pack are going to get a huge slipstream if they aren't careful. That's going to be a completely different corner entry than what they're used to because of how intense the draft is going to be. So they have to be careful of that, but you're absolutely right. Going through 3 and 4, under draft and under power is going to be very interesting for these guys.
By the way, was it me or the crowds at Phoenix a little bit low today?
I don't know.
Okay. So out of corner number 2, the field heads now into turn number 3 and 4. Joe Branch has led every lap of this motor race so far. He wants to continue doing so. He pulls the power up a turn number 3 and 4. Green flag back in the air, and immediately Doc down to the inside of Christian Steele.
Doc was looking for, as soon as he knew he got the run on that car that was in front of him of Christian Steele, he knew as soon as he got the whole shot there, he just pulled away, pulled to the inside, stuck the nose in there, and stole that inside to turn 1 and 2. So Adam Doc back to P2 right now. Battle behind right now is between Bradley Walters and Andrew Kinsella. Kinsella going to fall back to the approaching Brandon Trust, who's a man on a mission right now.
We also just saw Vic Cordell versus Tim Doyle. They were going side by side through turns number 1 and 2. Now we've got ourselves many battles developing once again. These guys have been pretty clean at the start of this one. Having a look on board to Tim Holgate. Behind him is Niles Anders looking deep down to the inside through turn number 1 and so turn number 3 and 4. Couldn't do anything there. In towards turn 1 and 2 again. Holgate actually just managed to make the pass over Anders. SWT there in the background as well. So lots of battling going on at the rear end of your top 10 again. Pretty sedated though at the front of your field one more time.
Yeah, SPT had to get out of the throttle there to make sure he didn't pinch or hit the quarter panel of that car. Meanwhile, that battle with Brandon Trost there, he basically got the nose cut off by Andrew Kinsella, had to get out of the gas, so that battle's over as well. So everyone, once again, for the most part, single file. I think the first battle, the closest battle we're going to see right now, well, Joe Flanagan was that, and he just hit the yellow line, and Tony Snowden had to get out of the throttle there to make sure he didn't hit the inside wall, held onto it. So everyone, once again, single file. SPT, though, closing on Niles Anders.
Yeah, And one of the things about this racetrack as well is because everyone gets their mind into Richmond mentality, they think it's going to be a really hard race. And actually, that does sometimes help the caution count a little bit because of the fact that you just saw there, Tony Stern having to really get out the gas. The fact that everyone's so worried about caution sometimes means people drive with a little bit more heads up than what you'd see at a track like Texas or Auto Club, for example.
Yeah, this is because it's such a short track, I think it drills into the mindset of these drivers, you know, I have to be aware 120% of the time and be hyper aware of where I'm putting my car, how my car is going to handle through the corner, and you got to be careful of that yellow line. We already saw 2 different cars hit it today. One was a wreck, one was able to hold on to it, but for the most part, Will, you have to be so careful here at a track. I mean, 3/4 of a mile is not very far.
Especially not on an Indy car. That at Indy, we all know the fact it does a football pitch in the space of 1 second. Just to let you know, Bradley Walters losing 2 places in the space of a lap there, getting passed first by Andrew Kinsella, then getting passed by Brandon Trace. And actually, we've got Bradley Walters on pit road, so he must have hit, yeah, he's got some side pod damage. Hit the wall out of turn number 2.
Turn number 2, we're going to be saying that a lot tonight, coming down to get that side pod damage fixed, but this is, you got to worry about racing the track first, then you can race everyone else around you here, and unfortunately the track is so far 1, he is 0.
Yeah, when you talk about Indy, you know, we say at Indy you've got to race the track first, beat the track, then beat the other drivers. As you just see there on pit road is the driver Bradley Walters. Out front, Joe Branch versus Adam Dock is 6.66 right now, a 2/3 of a second. Dock last time by a smidgen slower than Joe Branch, but the laps tick off so quickly here. Already, Joe Branch is coming up, and caution.
And that's Stephen Pauly in the 22, Will, and a little bit of an incident, maybe with Niall McBride. We'll get a look at the replay. Turn number 2 wall, and Stephen Pauly once again got ramped up into the air by an approaching car. That was Joe Flanagan, and Flanagan had nowhere to go.
Yep, Stephen Pauly hits the wall there out of turn number 2. Gets turned around by Joe Flanagan. Nothing really you could argue that Flanagan could do in that situation. As we now have a look on board of him.
He just pushed up in the wall, Will.
Yeah, simple as that. And there we are. Flanagan, race done. Second caution of the day. Everyone's going to be on pit road once again. 48 and 150 laps scored complete here. We're giving you up to date in commercials in just 1 moment's time, but here is a look at what's coming up with iRacing and Dirt.
Hey guys, Christopher Bell here. As you guys know, iRacing is coming out with Dirt, and it's been a long time coming. So I'm here today to kind of show you around the sprint cars and hopefully give you some insight for whenever you first drive it. So here we are at Williams Grove, gonna go out and make a couple laps in the 410 wing sprint car. I'm on default setup with a gear change to a 522. As we roll out of the pits, you guys might notice that the car wants to pull left and you have to hold the steering wheel right to go straight. That's normal for a sprint car because you have so much stagger, it's always trying to turn the car left. Once you get up to speed, that goes away. Going down the straightaways, Williams Grove has really long straightaways and really tight corners. The big wings on the sprint cars, it always wants to pull you left into the corner, so it doesn't take much steering wheel input to get the car into the corner. A big key for the wing sprint cars is that they always like to go straight. They don't like to be too sideways, so the less steering wheel input you can have and the straighter you can keep the car, the faster you'll go. As the track slickens off, you'll be able to play with the setup to get the car driving even straighter yet. And that's a couple laps around Williams Grove. So here we are at Eldora Speedway. I'm on baseline setup with a gear change to a 511. As we roll out at Eldora Speedway, one thing that you'll notice is that the corners are really sweeping and it's almost a circular shape. The big thing about Eldora is just keeping that steering wheel straight. The straighter you keep the wheel and the less steering input that you give the car, the faster you'll go. The fast line around Eldora will be right around the inside wall in the corners and then with a big arc towards the outside walls down the straightaways. Then once the track slicks off, you'll be able to follow the groove up towards the outside wall, where the famous Eldora Highline comes into play. So now we're at Volusia Speedway Park with the 410 wing sprint car. I'm on baseline setup with a 511 gear, the same as what we ran at Eldora. Whenever you roll out on the racetrack, you'll notice that Volusia is similar to Eldora. They have long sweeping corners, and it's kind of circular in shape. At Volusia, whenever the track is fast, you'll want to be right down against the concrete wall in the corners with a nice big arc down the straightaway. Whenever the track starts to slicken up, you'll be able to follow the groove up higher and higher. Whenever you get into turns 3 and 4 though, the groove might get up onto the shelf, which is the flatter section of the racetrack. And then it becomes very difficult to exit turn 4 without getting into the wall. And that's just one of the characteristics of Volusia Speedway Park. Hope you guys have fun.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, Joe Branch led people on towards pit road. However, we had a number of drivers that didn't come in. They are Adam Dock, Christian Steele, Andrew Kinsella, Marco Brazil, Gortadello, and Austin Esparti, and Andreas Eek. So, we're going to go back to racing right now. 52 laps of 150 score complete. And it's now Adam Dock who leads the way. Green flag back in the air. But let's keep an eye out on those drivers who have just taken tyres, and Brandon Trace down to the inside of Joe Branch into turn number 1.
And already caution back out on the racetrack there, Will. And we're looking forward. It was Vic Caudell in the 33.
Hey, my name's DW. Cautions bring cautions. And indeed there, Caudell just got turned around on the restart. Yep. He was a little bit slow going there, to be honest.
I'm gonna take the classic blame on cold tires there. I'm gonna assume that's what that was, or maybe just got the gear wrong when he tried to shift up. But either way, Caudell spun around, and we're back under yellow before these guys could even hit triple digits, and a couple cars sliding to try to avoid. That was the, I'm trying to see what car that was. That was Richard Haskins in the 62, who spun, locked up the brakes and got on the back bumper, or the rear gearbox, I should say, of the 52. So that's damage for both those vehicles as well.
We'd like to say a special hello, by the way, to RaceSpot Cat. RaceSpot Cat is back in heat. So if you are an iRacer with a male cat who might like to make a cat baby with RaceSpot Cat, please let us know. Tweet #RaceSpotCat.
I don't want to mention the morality of this whole thing, but
yeah. Yeah. It's over though.
This is our reality now. This is our reality.
Yeah. Adam Dock then leads away. He's one of the drivers who didn't pit. 7 drivers, your top 7 drivers didn't pit here. That's not really going to help them this caution because they didn't really get any form of a heat cycle in there. It will still help. Actually, the person that helped the most was Joe Branch because of the fact that he had Brandon Trace down to his inside as that caution came out.
Yeah, and that basically fended off that attack for now, and Branch knows as soon as Trost gets the opportunity to, he's going to jump to the inside. So Branch kind of saw the playbook there, so he knows he can block him this time. But for everyone else, it's one of those cases where I don't think the tires even rubbed the sticker off them yet. Yeah. It's probably just brand new. This is just such an interesting deal. I guess the best thing is one of the lap down cars got another lap back, so yay.
But do you classify that as, you know, seeing the playbook, or is that like Christian McCaffrey running the football and he's going to run the football anyway?
I'd say
there are better people than Christian McCaffrey. Just the
I was gonna say it's more a case of everyone knowing the Omaha play. So when you call the Omaha play, everyone knows what you're gonna do.
Yeah, true. Well, you just got to keep count of how many times he says the word Omaha, just to double check.
Yes. Is there a count of that, as Brazil's going to go around the pace car here?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he's doing.
Everyone's going around the pace car now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I think the pace car driver did get new headphones in this previous update, so maybe he wasn't paying attention to what race control was saying. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, just give us 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're on board with the iRacing pace car.
Oh, is that who's driving that? Is that Paul Smith behind the wheel of the iRacing pace car?
But the lights are off. That's the important thing this time by. So Adam Dock now leads the way in this field.
The lights are off, but I'm not sure if the entire field's going to be ready for this. Richard Haskins is going through 3 and 4 right now. They might have to delay it one more time. No, they're not going to clear any black flags, so I guess we're just going back to green here. So what you see is what you're going to get here. Quick lap. The 62 is back to the back of the field, but we're ready to go back green here.
Indeed, there we are then. Pace car's in. Adam Dock. Green flag back in the air. Let's experience it live. And just as we thought, Brandon Trost moved past Joe Branch there on that restart. We've got now a huge gaggle of drivers. P6, 7, 8, 9, all going at it right now. Lots of very close battling as we go on board there with the number 10 machine. And, well, Brandon Trost is trying to find a way past, and indeed sweeps himself down to the inside, makes that pass look easy.
I didn't think 3 wide could work at Richmond. They were only 3 wide for a couple seconds there, so it wasn't too bad. But that battle between Tim Holgate right now on the outside, that got really interesting there for a moment. Now Gardadello under attack from the 11 of Doyle. Doyle going to apex the corner perfectly, get past Gardadello, and Gardadello is in big kinds of trouble because he's got all the fast drivers right behind him right now.
Yeah, let's not forget, Brandon Trost is the driver with the freshest tyres towards the front of this field right now, and he just goes past Andreas Eakes. And right now, we need to go on board of that driver of Brandon Trost because he's got himself Austin Esparti and Marco Brazil just ahead of him. They are on 20-lap older tyres than Brandon Trost, and you'll see the difference here. If Trost can work this dirty air well, he will be past these drivers before you know it. But dirty air means a lot here at Richmond. The drivers have known this one over the years, and Trost all of a sudden hits a rolling roadblock as behind. You got yourself now a battle going on where Holgate is trying to get himself past Cortadello, and he just isn't able to do so just yet.
Well, wow, what a run he got through 3 and 4 right there. Well, he's up on the high side. I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything up there. He's going to try and pinch him down. No, just gets a good apex. Gordadello's car does not look happy at all. He loses 2 spots in a 1.5 corners right there. Joe Branch also goes by in caution.
Big yellow! Big yellow, and Tim Holgate was a part of that one. And that was towards the front of your field there. Brazil involved in it.
That was Marco Brazil, hit the wall at turn 4, came down into the 777. That car went up into the air, and they were blocking the track. Espati in the middle of the track. Brazil in the middle of the track, and Holgate tried to slow down, but just didn't have enough time. The reaction time not quick enough for that 06. He's got front nose damage.
Yeah, lots of drivers involved there. Let's get one more look from up above if we can. Oh, well, let's just get a look first of all from that camera. You can just see a lot of the drivers involved in that. We'll get ourselves one more look now. This is from up above through turn number 3 and 4, and here's a look then as they come into turn 3 and 4 now. Looking at Marco Brazil, just pushes high out the corner into the marbles, and from there, pandemonium.
And he came over the radio and apologized. He said it was the aero push from the lap cars that caused that. He wasn't expecting the car to push wide out of 4, wasn't able to catch it in time, back off the throttle, bam, into the outside wall. And after that, it was just the closing rate on this car means you're not going to be able to stop for anything here. This track is so short.
It does mean that we've now got a treble split strategy potentially about to happen. Holgate Branch, Gortis Flanagan, Schoen have pitted. Adam Dock hasn't, Christian Steele hasn't, Kinsella hasn't, and then Trost hasn't. We're into a 3-way strategy battle here, Cisco. This is when things get really confusing.
Yeah, so your top 3 are just completing their 42 lap on these set of tires. Your next driver, Brandon Trost, is on 22 laps, as is Niles Anders. Then you got Andreas Eek, who's also on 42 laps, as is Gordadello. Then you got a good chunk of drivers here who just came down pit road. That's Tim Holgate back all the way to Niall McBride. You got the Michael Peters on 14 laps. He's on his own strategy along with Dan Liench. But Dan Liench is a lap down, not really in... Yeah, there's about 4 different strategies going on right here, Will, and they're all different. They're all trying to see if it'll work. But right now, the leading strategy continues to be staying out for that track position.
Indeed, so as we ride under caution, and let's give you a little bit of RaceSpotTV fan immersion. One to green this time by. So let's have a look at your top 8 very quickly. Doc lead, Steele second, Kinsella third, then Troston, Eek, then Gortadado, Anders and Holgate. Let's live this restart then. On board from the rear of Adam Doc. This is RaceSpotTV fan immersion. Get back to green okay there, so let's go past the halfway point now.
Yeah, we're past the halfway point right now. 10 cars onto your race. Everyone else, 17 cars still on track making laps, and 13 cars left on your lead lap here. That's a quick look at the dynamics of your field right now, Will. But everyone single file for the most part through your entire field here. Everyone good to go.
Yeah, out front, you've got yourself Adam Dock and Christian Steele. They have done 51 laps in this set of tyres. Behind, you've got yourself the driver of Brandon Trost. He has only done 31 laps in this set of tyres. Pit number 7 is Tim Holgate. He's on the freshest boots of the lot here with 10 laps. Joe Branch right behind him. Holgate and Branch will really be interested. Oh, no, they're not! Big trouble there down at turn number 1 and 2. And that involves Holgate and Joe Branch, both drivers, out of this event.
That's your points leader and your 4th place in points and pole sitter. So we're going to take a look at what happened there, Will, and taking a look to see what happened.
He lost it by himself.
Yeah, Holgate just lost it. That is a rare mistake out of Tim Holgate. I don't know if it just didn't rotate properly. He ends up Truexing the wall. Now Anders got a piece of that, got shoved up into there. And then Robert Gortz, I believe, wow, he was able to miss that. So a great job by the 5. Stayed on the bottom of the racetrack there. And then Joe Branch, just wrong place, wrong time.
It's just an end from Joe Branch's perspective. Boy, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That went from absolutely everything's fine to, oh gosh, there's a car in front of me, but pit stops happening right now. A ton of cars coming off pit road. Christian Steele going to lead them off of there, and everyone pit except Niles Anders.
But Niles Anders is showing with a one-lap stint right now. Unless he's going to get, I think he's going to get black flag for pitting too early.
Oh, did he? Yeah, he must have pit while the pits were closed.
Yeah. There's a number 82 machines on pit road as well. So a lot for us to try and figure out here on RaceSpotTV and on iRacing Live. What is happening here? Your championship leader out, Joe Branch. We thought he was going to be great here, out of this event. These two are both teammates, and they are not going to be happy with this one. We have got Austin Espartee here. He's going to join us in the booth in just one moment's time for a quick chat. And while Austin, talk us through your race, because you're out of the event, but not the day you would have wanted.
No, qualifying really didn't go well. Hit the wall twice. Started 24th, I think it was. Made my way up to 12th before the first yellow. Then went up to 11th, then stayed out, hoping to gain some track position. Then just unfortunate. I know I had a really fast car, but could have probably won the race. We'll see what happens. Hopefully Christian or Andrew or Andreas can pull something off tonight.
How hard are the track conditions today?
They actually weren't that bad. It's just we were basically running max downforce, so we didn't have much aero push. And as you can tell, Marco probably was running very little. He experienced a lot of aero push, and that's basically what caused that wreck.
So, of course, a bad race here today. Next time out, we go to Long Beach in just 1 week's time. Of course, we don't broadcast that race, but are you looking forward to a good one there?
Of course, the only road course, and I actually prefer road courses over ovals, so it should be fun to battle Holgate next week.
Well, thank you very much there, Austin Espartee. Christian Steele leads the way right now. But there are a number of drivers trying to get laps back, Cisco.
Yeah, a couple cars getting wave arounds from the pace car there. They're going around the pace car. That's Stanley Ench, Michael Peters. Peters was able to get his lap back, so I don't know if that's exactly how he thought it was going to work, but Peters is back on the lead lap now. The problem is he is on older tires, 15-lap old tires, and Vic Caldell in front of him is on 16-lap old tires, but everyone else is ready to go with fresh tires here for this restart.
Yep, having a look on board then with the driver of Christian Steele for this restart. There you can see Adam Dock just behind him as they come back to the green. Good restart there by Steele.
Great restart by Steele. He gets a huge gap on Adam Dock when they head through 1 and 2. Dock gonna apex out to that wall here, the preferred line. He's trying to follow Steele, but I'm afraid he can't just follow straight behind him here because maybe we might see that aero push affect him as well. Meanwhile, Brandon Trost has been on a tear this race, up 9 positions. Not the biggest mover in your field tonight, but one of them, and doing a great job right now, is that 007.
And he's really locked out on strategy here today. Everyone is once again on the same strategy, but Troy's taking the risk early. It's paid dividends to him now. He is in that 3rd position, and well, I have to say, doing a fantastic job. This could help him dramatically in the championship battle, knowing the fact that Tim Holgate is down on pin number 17 on pit road.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of points to be made up here for Trost. He was 29 points down of Holgate coming into tonight, so everything looks good for him, and also to keep... Okay. But, looks like... Sorry, I'm just trying to get my bearings. There we are. Trost continuing just kind of to fall behind there, but Espartee, Branch, all running into issues here, so a big points day and a big points payout potentially for Brandon Trost here.
Indeed so. We are now on lap number 92 of 150 here on RaceSpotTV and on iRacing Live. And if all else fails, when you've got a horny cat, you know what you need to do, Cisco? Get the laser pointer out.
Oh, get the laser pointer out.
Yeah,
Okay.
indeed so. But Christian Steele does lead the way right now. And he's pulled out a pretty big 1 second advantage, actually, over Adam Dock there. It hovers between about 9 tenths and 1.1 second. And actually, Christian Steele doing a fantastic job leading this race from the front all of a sudden.
Yeah, Christian Steele just being able to pull away bit by bit here. His car seems to be the most stable, and it's a little bit different than what Adam Dock, Trost, and Kinsella are all running. That car up front just seems to be a little bit better with that clean air. It just goes where he wants to put it. Everyone else, it's clean-ish air for everyone else, but really, truthfully, it's clean air for Christian Steele right now.
Totally showing Nathan Bookbinder is separated by about a third of a second. Niles Anders right behind them there. Niles Anders got a little bit of a hit earlier on, but he is still able to circulate. He runs in 11 places ahead. Joe Flanagan and Tony Schoen go side by side in the battle for P at number 8 on track. Schoen up into 8th. Flanagan down into 9th, and Anders into the wall.
Anders big into the outside wall there. Caution back out once again. And Anders, it all went wrong for him going into turn 1. He tried to slow down. He caught the 4 in the corner of Bookbinder. Anders tried to get out of the throttle and just gets tagged ever so slightly by the 39, that DHL machine right behind him, of Vic Caldell, 33 rather. And for Anders, it ends in tears.
Replay then coming up for you here on RaceSpotTV and on Facebook Live. In towards turn number 1. Looking at the 2 cars at the rear of this one. And actually, I think Anders had to check up into turn number 1. That's what it was, because he almost went over the rear of Nathan Bookbinder. And then I don't think that Vic Cordell realised that. And the 2 came together. And these 2, don't forget, are teammates.
Yeah, they are teammates. And Anders, just a quick last-second decision. And maybe it was a case for Caldell there. He wasn't able to react fast enough. Maybe he didn't know what was going on, but either way, not enough communication between them, and Caldell basically just took Anders out of this race, and Anders had to take the tow truck back to pit road. That night is done for that team. They're dropping like flies, Will.
Gort, Flanagan, Schoen, Peters, etc. are on pit road as it speaks then. We've got ourselves 50 laps to go here on RaceSpotTV and on iRacing Live. Back with more after this message.
The NASCAR Beginner for Series powered by iRacing is the premier NASCAR eSports series featuring the cars and tracks from the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. The 2016 campaign saw a return to the top of the mountain by Ray Alfalla as a 3-time NASCAR World Champion. The march to that championship was not easy, though, despite the fact that Ray Alfalla took home the most points in series history. It just also happened to be the tightest championship fight we had ever seen. These guys are set for the 2017 campaign, and as it has been for the 7 years prior, it is no longer going to be a straight shot to the championship. We are going to see the biggest change in this championship picture in series history, as for the first time ever, there will be a chase for the championship. We're going to go into the homestead of Miami Speedway at the end of the season with the 4 best oval sim racing drivers in the world absolutely tied in the championship. You just got to beat the other 3 guys out and you will become an official NASCAR champion. You're going to get yourself a NASCAR championship ring and, of course, $10,000. These are the iRacing eSport World Championships, the pinnacle of sim racing competition. You can catch it all season long, live coverage on iRacing.com/live.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to RaceSpotTV and Facebook Live. Lap number 103 and 150. The car's beginning to build up pace once again. Pace car on towards pit road. We go back to green, Cisco.
And Christian Steele gets another great restart there with that clean air, able to pull a gap just on Adam Dock right now. Everyone else kind of stuck in this bottled up group of cars right now. Adam Dock trying to close in, though. He's trying to do everything he can. A near wall hit there for Andrew Kinsella, able to hold on to it. And meanwhile, battle behind those guys. They're going at it, and that was Bookbinder there, all out of shape, all over the track there, trying to defend that position.
Yeah, we've got ourselves 14 drivers remained in this event. So we've got ourselves a good number of drivers out so far. But it does mean that we may well be green to the flag now. And some drivers that didn't pit may rue the decision not to come on pit road. If it does go green to the end, as Cordell tries to look himself down to the inside. And he gets himself now past the driver Tony Schoen up into P number 9.
So Gardell trying to get back some of the position.
Wait a minute. Brandon Trace might be having technical issues again. Carry on.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that then as we run here. But yeah, Trost so far we don't. Oh, there he is. Okay. So everything looking okay for the moment for Brandon Trost there. He runs third right now, Will, so he cannot afford to have anything happen to him here for the rest of the race. Luckily, not a whole lot of time left in this race. 40 laps to go. I mean, that's only like 10-something minutes.
It is. And of course, let's not forget that Brandon Trost had technical issues already in this series this year. Looking up then, Vic Cordell versus Nathan Bookbinder. And looks like Cordell is pulling away in that battle for the moment. Robert Gort versus Cortadello. That's going on for P number 6, P number 7 right now. The laps tick off so quickly here. On board with Robert Gort versus Cortadello in towards 1 and 2. Last time by, lap times almost identical.
Yeah, and they are, it's just a case of they're both in a decent amount of draft. They can't really get one pull on one or the other here. The 10's getting pulled along by Eek there in the 76, and then Gort's being pulled along by Cortadello there, so they can't really get a whole lot of a run here. So content to ride right now, these guys, and not trying too much, but here comes Vic Caudill. He's able to get a great run through 3 and 4 to the inside of the number 5.
And he clears him in towards turn number 1. Does the DHL machine there of Vic Cordell as he spins around inside turn number 2. Caution's out.
Went for it and just wasn't able to hold on to it there, Will. Lost it all by his lonesome there. I have to wonder if it was the rapid approach of fresh air there to the car that he was maybe driving a little more conservatively because of the aero push. He got out in the fresh air and the car decided, no, you're going to go up here. Or maybe it was just because he was on that bottom line that spun the car out.
Well, let's not forget what we talked about at the very top of this broadcast. The weather conditions here, 13 km/h winds. And the crosswinds would affect you if you go from being in the draft to clean air. And as he hadn't had, from draft to clean air, then back to draft, I've got a feeling he tried adjusting his weight jacker to compensate, and he just didn't get it right.
And unfortunate for him that, I mean, that one slight mistake, and he's on the tow truck back to pit road. But a couple cars coming down pit road. That's Shoden and Flanagan, and I believe Peters. They all came down, so those are lap cars. So all your lead lap cars are going to stay out. 6 cars left on the lead lap. Everyone else down on pit road taking tires. Those lead lap cars, they're on their 32nd lap right now, or 33rd lap rather, of tires for the moment here, Will. But the good thing is a lot of those have been caution laps. They're not going to be cycled too much here.
But 35 laps to go. If you were a brave man like Robert Gort, Andreas Eek, or Brandon Trost, would you not maybe have come in just knowing the fact there's likely to be one more caution here? And 35 laps, you know, it might mean that the tires will help you even if it does stay green at the end.
Yeah, but Will, if there's another caution to the end of this thing, these guys aren't going to have enough time to get back to the front. I mean, the laps here are so quick. If they get maybe 3 minutes of green flag and then another caution, if Trost is back in 8th, he won't be able to get to the lead from there, even if he does have fresh tires.
Well, let's ride on board of Brandon Trost for a moment. And actually, I respectfully disagree with you.
You think, I don't know. I just don't think it's
35
possible.
laps, you're going to get enough time. And I think if you were to get a caution, even if you were to get another caution, the other drivers ahead of you will be thinking, wait a minute, he's going to have fresher tyres than me with heat cycles as you come on towards pit road, or Trost knows they're going to be struggling, so he's then got another attack in his game plan. Trost, in my opinion, and Kinsella at least, should have come on towards pit road. They both have the chance of winning this event, but I think they're in even more of a difficult situation here on the same strategy as they would have been if they come on towards pit road. And the thing is, Trost coming towards pit road, Kinsella, Ick, and Gortz all come in as well. Simple as that. You know it's like applied paper.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case, and I think the more important thing here, Will, is the fact that there are 11 cars on the lead lap because everything just got sorted out with timing. So you'd have to come back. If you're Trost, or those guys, if you came down, probably everyone behind... I don't know. I don't think everyone behind Trost would have come down if he came down.
Does 1 or 2 make a difference? Probably not. We've seen what it's like before.
We've seen what it's like before, but also keep in mind, if we get like 3 laps of green flag, or 3 minutes of green flag running, that's immediately like 12 laps down the drain right there. And 12 laps they could have used to try and get up to the leaders there. Time flies by so fast, I just don't think it would be possible.
We agree to disagree.
Yes. We can do that in our society.
We can. We agree to disagree, as you can see there on board Christian Steele. Leads the race right now. We talked about Steele being one of these drivers earlier who needed a big point status go. He now leads this motor race.
Yeah, absolutely. He's in a great points position here. Adam Doc just going to the inside, letting him know, hey, I'm down here, and I'm probably going to try and make that move if he gets the chance. But pace car going to head to pit road.
Here comes the pace car then. Green flag back in the air. We go back to racing one more time here at Richmond as the cars storm through turn number 1 one more time. And that time there was a huge amount of separation of these drivers.
Yeah, I mean, Steele wasn't able to pull out that gap, and there goes Dockett in the outside wall. Game over for him, the 99. That's a write-off there. That's way too much damage. He's not going to be able to do anything. He just rode himself out of this race, and now it's Brandon Trost's race to win.
Yeah, and you see Doc there bringing that car towards pit road. Replay if we can get it for you. Here you are then, on board with Doc. Turn 3 and 4 wall hurts him big time.
Yeah, hurts him big time there. He had to bring it down to pit road there, Will, and now this has opened up the floodgates for Brandon Trost. Trost is going to try and track down the leader. Does he have enough time? Does he have the car left to be able to do that? We're going to find out. But Christian Steele trying to manage that gap right now. It's about even for the moment, but Trost going to give everything he can to try and get past that leader.
So Brandon Trost half a second behind Christian Steele right now as we are down into the last 30 laps of this motor race. Trost last time by 225, Steele 137 last time by. At the line again, advantage Christian Steele. The dirty air, I don't think Brandon Trost is good when he's in that half second dirty air. We've got a bit of an issue there for Nathan Bookbinder technical wise, but he's okay. He carries on for the moment. Your top 5 drivers haven't pitted, everyone else behind them have. So let's have a look at the number 10 machine, and he's doing comparable lap times to Robert Gortz right now, actually. So doesn't look as though Gortadade is a factor just yet.
Yeah, we'll just have to see as the run goes on here, but running out of time, 25 laps to go here, Will. 24 at the line. He's running out of time. He's got to go catch that leader. He's 3 seconds back, and that gap just seems to be growing greater and greater to that leader. Gortadell might be able to get past Robert Gortz, but as far as catching a leader, I don't think that's an option now.
We just saw a car come back onto the racetrack down at turn number 2. I'm not quite sure who that was. It looked like a Norton machine there as it comes in towards turn 3 and 4.
It's Doc back on track.
Yeah, I hope that car is going to be okay. You won't find out, though, until he comes in towards turn number 1 at speed. And he's looking a little bit sketchy, I have to say right now.
Yeah, he'll know whether that's good or not, but that gap is starting to close between our leader. Oh, actually, no, Trost just spun it out of 2, and he's on the infield there, but he didn't make contact. There's the caution.
Whoa, Brandon Trost. And it's a race, it's like Canada 99 right now. All the championship contenders have had incidents. Trost Exit of turn number 2.
Exit of turn number 2.
He does hit the wall. He does hit the wall.
Barely, but it was such a barely scrape there.
Have you
But that's
seen
what
that
we
rear
talked
wing?
about.
Those poor little stars are mangled so much in the rear wing of his car.
Oh, you're saying on the inside wall. I thought you meant he hit the outside wall. I was like, no, he didn't. But
yeah, wall.
Nonetheless, Will, we talked about at the top of the show, you can't, these cars, they're so delicate here. You make a tap on the inside wall, he was only going like 50, 55, 60 miles an hour, and that rear wing is post. So Trost is now out of this. What could have been a huge point stay for Brandon Trost, that's out the window now. So now Christian Steele is in the best points position here, and he's 18th in points, and he's leading this thing.
Richmond in an Indy car is like Talladega in a NASCAR.
They haven't been here in the
2009.
Verizon. Yeah, 2009 was the last time they were here. So, I mean, it's almost a case of these cars being almost faster than the track in a way. Will.
Well, let's not forget the DW12 has never run here. It was the IR05.
05.
Let's not forget, it was pre IndyCar IR9 conditions, because that came in halfway through the season at Kentucky. So a very different type of race car now compared to what we had. Even the old iRacing car, isn't really authentic to Richmond. As you see there, Andreas Eek is trying to burn fuel off big time right now. We've got less than 20 laps to go, and this guy is like, wait a minute, if I burn fuel off, that's 100th of a second. I might be able to help myself here.
Yeah, it is. That's absolutely the case, but we are going to catch up down here in the infield care center with Brandon Trost, and Will, you've caught up with him.
Yeah, Trost spinning, turn number 2, into the inside retaining wall, self-spin. What happened?
Car got loose in traffic, had a little bit too much weight jacker in it, and, kind of lost it.
This was a race that halfway in, just after halfway in, when Tim Holgate had his issues, you were thinking, wait a minute, this is my chance to get myself to the championship lead. It's all disappeared for you. Is Richmond really that wildcard track that we've been talking about the last few minutes?
Well, the thing with Richmond is you can't pass anyone, and Holgate and me both screwed up our qualifying laps. I'm telling you right now, if Holgate and me had hit the qualifying laps we should have hit, we would have got 1-2 in this race. Unfortunately, though, once we got in traffic, I mean, you just can't make up the spots.
That caution that I was talking just before you had your incident, that caution, I was talking about the fact that maybe you should come on towards pit road because the fact the guys ahead of you didn't. You could have played a Pied Piper. In retrospect, would you have come on towards pit road?
I would have never pitted because the issue is the guys in 4th and 5th would have blocked so hard as teammates to the guy leading that I would have never got by them. I mean, they would have probably blocked me as hard as they could possibly do for as long as they possibly could, and by the time I got by them, it would have been over anyways.
Brandon Trost there coming outside your top 10, and what's been a crazy, crazy race here. So let's go, and we'll be back to green with 15 to go.
Yeah, 15 to go here. Christian Steele leads. Andrew Kinsella second. Andreas Eek is third. And then you start to talk about the guys who have fresher tires. Gardadello, Bookbinder, Peters, Gortz, Shoden, Flanagan. That rounds out your lead lap cars here. Coming back to green.
Here comes the pace car then. On the back straightaway, in towards turn number 3 and 4. It's Steele who leads. But let's keep an eye out on the drivers in P4, 5, and 6. Michael Peters has a fantastic opportunity after being put one lap down earlier on in this event. We are back to green here on RaceSpotTV and on iRacing Live. You can see the field bunching up actually behind Peters right now. Peters, he might well be on the lead lap, but he's got cars behind him. Out front, Christian Steele, caution.
Caution back out on your racetrack, Will. And that one is going to be, Doc. So that car wasn't happy after all. Another self-spin.
Replay.
Yeah, I don't think he had the weight jacker refixed on that car there, Will.
No. Middle of turn number 2, that one, he just got loose. Less than 15 to go. We're going to step aside for a brief moment. We'll be back with more after these messages.
Watch Ernie, go, go, go. Car right, car right, car right, car right. Watch him, watch him, watch him, watch him. Damn it! Get ready. Dude, more heads up than that. Jeez.
Right on the back wing. Can he make it happen?
Yeah! Push like hell. We gotta stay in front of these guys.
Both drivers on the push to pass. Contact in the pit lane.
All right, sexy. Let that eagle fly. What do I do? What happened? Push here. Push hard. Let's go get this guy. Car outside. Through behind you. Tell. Clear outside. Good job. Just spun behind you. I don't know if you got him or not.
He got out of it so hard. Look at these guys are all over the back.
Full throttle.
IndyCar.
The in and out lap.
What's next?
Come and get the checkers, big boy. Oh, baby, that was good. He hit me. Inside, inside, outside, inside, outside.
2017 Verizon IndyCar Series. See what's next.
Nine laps to go at the line. Having a look from the rear of the iRacing pace car, it's going to pull on towards pit road. That'll put the field in the command of Christian Steele. Here we go once more then. Green flag back in the air. Steele, Kinsella, P1 and 2. Eek in third. Fourth is Cortadello. He is one of the drivers that pitted most recently, but we've got a battle thinking about developing out front with less than 10 laps to go.
Less than 10 laps to go, Will. 8 to go at the line there, and Steele continues to lead. Can Kinsella do anything with him? I don't know if he has the car to do it, but he's certainly going to try. Meanwhile, they're going side by side behind him. Eek's going to get shoved up to the high side. Cortadello going to cut under him here. Going to try and make that pass. And Cortadello 3 wide. Nearly Peters had to hit the apron. He's okay, though, and Cortadello's going to go around him.
That was an aggressive Michael Peters there. He knows he's got moderately fresh tyres. He goes down to the inside of Andreas Seek, and Peters is on a mission right now in towards turn number 1.
Peters continuing to try and make that pass. He's going to do it there on the 76. The 76 weaves out of the way. He's out of control, and the 5 is going to go by him as well. Then the next car to try and do is going to be Bookbinder. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He's on that inside. Ike's going to cut him off right there. So the game over for... Hold on to it there. They almost hit touch there right behind him. 3 wide.
This is Richmond. This is an auto club, guys. Don't go 3 wide like that. But as they hit themselves like turn number 4, they settle down for a moment. The thing worth noting, though, is that your battle for the race lead is 0.8 of a second. Christian Steele leads right now over Andrew Kinsella. But we just saw some wacky racing there.
And it's not over yet. Robert Gort's going to jump to the inside of Michael Peters there in the 3. They're going to get real close right there, and Peters is going to have to back out of it. Got pitched up against the wall. Robert Gort's just got the position there. And meanwhile, battle out front. Christian Steele is pulling away nearly a second on Andrew Kinsella.
Yeah, as we just keep a quick eye on Michael Peters there. He's got Nathan Bookbinder behind him. He's got Tony Schoen behind him as well. Nice little battles going on towards the mid-pack of your field, but the white flag is out there for Christian Steele. He leads away by almost a second on this restart. He's pulled away, and he's showing how he can be a factor in this championship. He started 19th on the championship. He certainly moves himself forward right now. Steele wins, Kinsella second, Cortadello third, Gortz in fourth, and then it's Michael Peters rounding out your top 5. What a crazy last 10 laps we just had there. We had 3 moments that easily could have been a huge wreck.
Yeah, and these guys were able to hold on to it there. They gave each other, well, maybe not a ton of room, but enough room to be able to hold on to those cars. And it's a team celebration at the start-finish line. It's Christian Steele going to get the victory.
There is Christian Steele then, having a look on board of him on the replay. He wins out here at Richmond International Raceway, a track that is always used to wild finishes, of course, being the race before the chase in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. But today, Christian Steele wins out Richmond IndyCar style on RaceSpotTV and on iRacing Live. There to look then on board of his last couple of laps. But wow, Christian Steele, he timed that restart to perfection. There's nothing that he could have done or anyone else could have done after that. But we had ourselves a wild, crazy battle for a while with Michael Peters et al. And that was a salivating finish there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Christian Steele going to do the backwards victory lap. So it's not the Polish victory lap. It's not the traditional one. He's throwing his own style at it, going backwards, and he's already against the wall. So making sure he doesn't have to worry about passing tech after the race because that car was so fast.
Yeah, just having a look there at some of your replays. Let's actually cut back to live footage and show you what then is what the driver of Christian Steele is doing.
Unconventional.
Unconventional. So there we are there. Here's a look at his burnouts. Flicks it down into reverse.
J-turn. Eliminate on that.
Yeah. So Christian Steele wins out here today. First win in 2017, of course. Entered this race in 19th position on the championship. That's going to really help him there, Cisco.
Absolutely. He was tied for that with Diego Perez. Perez wasn't here, so Steele going to make up a ton of positions here. And coming out of Richmond, there's a lot that he can gain from this. And Brandon Trost, who had the opportunity, he could have seized it, but it all went wrong and lost opportunities for anyone in that top 5. It all went wrong for each one of those drivers tonight. None of those guys can be happy leaving Virginia.
And you talk about moments of championships when you know that a season's been won or lost. In Brandon Trost, if he doesn't win the championship this year, is that going to be his moment?
I don't know, because everyone had problems, Will, so I'm not positive if this one race is going to cost it. Certainly would have been able to get more points, but if he loses out, I don't know if this one race is going to be the deciding factor, because everyone had such a bad race here.
Let's have a look then. First at the donuts, then at your final race results. As Christian Steele burns the rubber up, he wins here today by a second over Andrew Kinsella. Third place, Vinicius Cortadello. Fourth place, Robert Gortz. Fifth place, Michael Peters. Nathan Bookbinder, Tony Schoen, Andreas Eek, Joan Flanagan, and Dan Liench ran out your top 10. What a crazy race we've had here today. There's the remainder of your results up on your screen for you now. a high number of retirees. We expect that at Richmond.
Yeah, we do expect it. I mean, the cars aren't ready for this, Will.
And there's the final part of the result. 27 drivers started this race. Only about 11 finished.
Wow, that is it's a high attrition rate here at Richmond, and like we said, we knew this was going to be a very wild card-esque race here. This was we talked to Austin Espity during the pre-race show, and then again during the race actually, and he said he wasn't sure. And well, it didn't work out for a lot of guys, but one guy it did work for is our winner here, and he's in victory lane with Will Vincent.
Yep, Christian Steele, welcome back then to Apex Infotech Indy Elite Series victory lane. That was a win and a half there for you.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy race. I got into a couple close ones there, and just lucked out on the strategy and got up front.
How hard was this race with the wind conditions, the traffic, the noise, the difficulty? Talk us through it.
It was pretty hectic. Like, the traffic was really difficult. Like, there was a lot of aero push when you're behind lap cars, and also the wind. Yeah, like turn 2, the wind was pretty strong, so at times you were getting a little bit tight, and at other times you're like, am I going to spin here? It's a bit nerve-wracking.
And then later on in the race, you didn't take tyres, other people didn't take tyres. In hindsight, I would say it was just right call, but evidently it was. But were you worried that people around you would take tyres and may well have been faster than you in that final run to the line?
I think we had a really good long-run car, so I wasn't too concerned about that unless it was Trost or Doc, but they were both damaged at that point, so I felt pretty good about it. I wasn't really that worried about it.
Well, in 1 week's time, we head ourselves to Long Beach. In 2 weeks' time, we head ourselves to Phoenix. Talk about both of those races, of course. Long Beach isn't going to be broadcast here on RaceSpotTV. Phoenix is. So talk about both races.
So Long Beach is my home track, and ironically, like, I'm going to both Long Beach and Phoenix. But anyway, Long Beach is a really tight street course, and it's really unforgiving. So if you mess up one time, you're out. On other road courses, you can get away with going a little off track, but Long Beach, that's not going to happen. Then Phoenix it's late afternoon, so passing will be possible. It's going to be at a premium, so that'll be interesting as well. It has a fresh repave, so we'll be going pretty fast there as well.
Before we let you go, floor's yours. Sponsors, friends, family, pet cats. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
I want to thank everyone at my team, Absolute Zero, Andrew, Austin, Andreas, Nigel for spotting, Al for coming there. Everyone helped out really, really nicely, and I coordinated the team. And also I want to thank Randy Crosno, Richard Tam for helping with the spotting. And I want to thank Joe Branch and Apex Infotech for helping this league and get everyone racing. It's really great to see everyone come out and have a good time.
Christian is still there, coming home. All of the race victory. Going to hand it now over to Cisco, stood by second place driver. That is Andrew Kinsella.
Yeah, I've caught up with Andrew Kinsella down here on pit road. And Andrew, a great race for you here. You gained 3 spots and finished second here tonight. Talk us through it. How was it out there for you?
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. I think the key for me was just to be patient. Like, you saw so many people were getting loose off of 2, and it was just really because they were overdriving the car. Maybe they were adding a little bit too much weight jack or something to try and pass people. But for me, it was just to try and stay patient. I knew I had a good long run car, just like Christian, and that was really the key is to sort of outweight the carnage.
You were on the same strategy there as Christian for that last part of the race. I mean, you stayed out for 68 laps on those tires. Obviously, the cautions were able to help you with the tire wear there, but was there anything you could have done with the car if you had a couple more laps or anything like that you could have done to catch Christian?
To be honest, once we got to 1-2, I was just happy to bring it home in second. Christian did a great job. He out-qualified me. He was in front of me the whole race. He deserved to win, so I just was content to sort of bring it home in second and not try to push, because, again, you start pushing at Richmond and you're into the wall off 2 so easily.
We're heading. You guys are heading to Long Beach here next week, and then after that, we'll catch back up with you in 2 weeks at Phoenix. Talk us through what are your opinions on those races coming up here?
So I like Long Beach. It's basically the only road course we do, and I enjoy road course racing just as well as ovals. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a unique sort of track because you have to set it up with the crown of the road and all the bumps in mind. So it's a sort of unique setup challenge, even within all the road courses that we do in iRacing on the official side of things. And then Phoenix, it's not my favorite place, to be quite honest. I have done well on occasion at Phoenix, but I'm just sort of looking to, again, just get a solid result. I had a few misfortunes a little bit earlier in the season, and I'm just sort of looking to get some solid results, get the season back on track.
All right, well, that's Andrew Kinsella. He finished his second here tonight. Andrew, congratulations, and I'm going to pass the mic down to Will, who's caught up with our third place finisher.
Indeed, so I'm going to have a quick chat in just 1 moment's time with your third place driver here on RaceSpotTV, streaming live on Facebook Live. And once again, thank you to everyone who's been a part of our coverage over the course of this evening. But let's then have a chat with the driver that came home in third place, the number 10 machine of Vinicius Cortadello. And well, Vinny, it was a tough race here today, but getting third place after starting very far back in the field-ish. Talk us through it.
Yeah, thanks guys. But for me, it's very good to be here. Sorry for my English. The race is very good and very hard, but I have patience and maintain in track. Only this. Everybody wreck and I finish in third.
Well, it's been a tough race today here for you at Richmond. Has there been any moments of the race and any parts of the race that you found harder than others?
Yeah, my car is not very good, but I don't catch the two guys in the first plane, the second. But I still run safe with patience. It's very good race.
2 weeks time we go to Phoenix. In 1 week's time we go ourselves to Long Beach. Which of these two races are you looking forward to the most?
Long Beach I never run, so I need practice very much. And Phoenix is a good track. I run before in NASCAR, so in Indy I need to practice too, man.
Well, thank you very much there, Vinicius. Before we let you go, any friends, sponsors, family, friends, pet cats you want to give a shout out to?
Thanks, guy, and I see you in the next.
There is your third place driver here on RaceSpotTV and on iRacing Live. And well, I'm going to say today's been a bit of a crazy one there, Cisco.
Yeah, and today's been a bit of a crazy day in the world of racing. The Monster Energy Cup Series, we had a surprise winner in that. We had a winner who came from 19th in points tonight to come home and bring home the victory. Well, it's been one of those days.
It has indeed. Thank you so much to everyone who's been a part of our coverage then on Facebook Live and on RaceSpotTV. This has been round number 4 of the Apex Infotech Indy Elite Series. We won't be seeing you in 1 week's time for Long Beach due to contractual obligations even, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time for round number 6 of the championship. From Cisco Scaramuza, I'm Will Vincent. We'll talk to you all in 2 weeks' time. Good night.
You guys are clear to talk, by the way.
Yella, I hope you know I'm putting you to the wall at Cal Speed next time you go out there.
Not gonna happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen. And now I just blacklisting you as we speak.
Why do you... Why are there brake mods for Fanatic Club Sport pedals? What's wrong with them?